Alright folks, how you doing? WrestleTrueResults303.com. Check out the website, link in the description box. Mind, Body, Spirit, Fitness. Put in the healing back and health. Once again, check out the website, get your free downloads, setting goals, fitness and nutrition. Don't forget to follow on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. The podcast is out there. iTunes, SoundCloud, should be on any major podcast player. Coming at you today with a video on why do Americans feel so guilty? I think this is the unfortunate thing, and I see it a lot in the younger generation, and it happens to me too. I would say it's definitely when you look at it, kind of that social justice warrior movement, maybe. And it's something hard to overcome. I kind of made a similar video based on Catholic guilt. And another one based on, why you feel unappreciated at work. And I think these all tie together, right? This so-called guilty conscious, and why you feel unappreciated at work. To tell you the truth, I think these all tie into the same thing. I put a quote out there on Facebook, and I want to start with it here, right? So if you're from America, we're the land of immigrants, whatever you want to say. And they traveled here for a better life. And they say back then, they did it legally. They all usually came in from the coast, the New York harbor, whatever it is, right? They had to go through their little checkpoints, got in, and they came in. But I think we've got to understand that our ancestors did a lot to get what we have now, the freedoms and the opportunities that we have. They died for these rights. And unfortunately, we as Americans, we feel so guilty that we want to just give it away to anybody, right? We don't care if you're from this country, your belief system, this or that, and anybody come and have them. And I think we've got to understand in today's world when we have these political debates on, well, that's not what the Constitution is. Well, the Constitution, in my opinion, and what I think what it's truly for is the rules and the guidelines of American citizens, right? I don't care if you're from Europe, if you're from the Middle East, or you're from South America, right? I don't care where you're from. The rights of American citizens do not apply to all people. They apply to all citizens. And I think that's the first thing we need to understand. They apply to the citizens of the United States. They don't apply to somebody in Germany, Iran, Iraq, Australia, Mexico, Brazil, Canada. They don't apply to you. You are not a citizen. They apply to American citizens. So that's the first thing. But why do we feel so guilty? I think we feel so guilty because we have all these rights and all these freedoms and we're not doing anything with them. So since we are not using these gifts and these opportunities to the fullest advantage, we want to say, let's give them to everybody else, right? I think that's the number one thing that we have an issue with. And it ties into that concept I've spoken about, why you feel so unappreciated at work. And you know why you feel so unappreciated at work? Because you bust your butt every single day for a paycheck and you have nothing to show for it, right? You have nothing to show for it. And the reason why is because you get paid and you go out and buy an iPhone. You go buy a new pair of shoes. You go buy a new shirt. New pair of shoes, new iPhone, new shirt. You're not even going to have in a year, right? You're not even going to have them in a year. Why? Because a new pair of shoes is going to come out. The new iPhone comes out every 6 months, right? Your new shirt's going to get a stain like mine just got from drinking some coffee. But I don't give a crap. I'm still going to wear this shirt. The downfall is within a year you have nothing to show for because you never paid yourself first. We Americans feel so guilty because we never used our gifts, talents, the gift we've been given from our ancestors in a way that helps make America better, in a way that helps make the world better, right? I spoke about it as well, of the difference between being a patriot and being a nationalist. And the unfortunate thing is right now, we as Americans, we have decided we are the world police right now, unfortunately. That can be good and bad. It goes in both directions. But unfortunately now it's gotten to a point to where it's like, America's great. You must be an image of America. You must be America's little brother. You must act like Americans. No. What made America great that's nationalism. What made America great was patriotism. And what that is being proud to be American and people from the outside seeing the way Americans act and saying, dang, I want to be a part of that. To where when they come to this country, it's not, oh, I still want to keep my whole identity of this country that I don't even like and bring it to your country and change your country, because that's going to be the downfall of America. What it is, dang, look at those Americans. They're Christian. They hold strong to their values. They work hard. They're successful. I want to be that. I want to be American. Not I want to live in America. I want to be a true red-blooded American. And if we can learn to do this, we will no longer have that American guilt. If we use our freedom of speech, and I knew that was going to happen. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Sorry. Hopefully I remember to edit that out. If not, you just saw a whole little spat of me walking away and coming back. And I lost my train of thought. But once again, I think if we truly start to understand the beauty of the opportunities and gifts we have, then we're going to see them as a good thing. And we've got to get out of that individual mindset, right? I think that's another downfall of America. It's me, 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 me. We need a new law that will justify me for being a weirdo, right? We're all weird in our own way. If you don't believe that, then you're probably the worst of all, right? They always say it's those people that think that they're perfect and there's nothing wrong with them that are usually probably the most messed up. So in reality, the downfall of America now is all these freedoms that we've had. It's gotten to the point to where it's like, no, we need to create a new law for me because I'm a weirdo, right? And then all of a sudden this new law is put into place, and then all of a sudden it's now more weirdos come out of the closet, right? And now we're creating a group of weirdos, and since we're weirdos, don't come into our group. Right, this is our group of weirdos. We're going to come over here and just be weird. That's fine. I understand we're weird, right? That's the beauty of things, like a weird laugh or whatever. Those are unique things, right? I've said it before in another post on Facebook, to where the things that people make fun of you the most are your gifts. Right? Oh, you've got a big nose. I heard a little kid told me that one time. I was at my cousin's house, and he looks up at me, probably no more than 4 or 5. Why do you have such a big nose? And they're just like, I don't know, it's the way I was born, little dude. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, it's the way I was born. But we've got to understand that those small little traits are what make us beautiful, right? And are what make us great. You know, it's kind of like when a black person is called an Uncle Tom because he doesn't speak slang or is hood or whatever the case may be. Well, no, that doesn't mean he's an Uncle Tom. That just means he's an educated person, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But once again, creating that concept and alienating him is what holds back the culture. Whether it be the black culture, the human culture, the American culture, whatever you want to call it. But once again, it's making people feel guilty because they've done something positive in their life. We don't want to do that, right? And that's the downfall of men. I've said this before in other videos. That's the downfall of man right now, like men in general. We see a man that's feminine, and all of a sudden he's not man enough, right? Well, I can tell you right now, I'm about to be 35. From when I was a teenager, I could be walking, and you could be standing around the corner and jump out. The girls always used to do this to me when I worked at the skating rink. I'd walk around the corner, and they'd be like, boo! And I'd just be like, I wouldn't even flinch. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you don't ever even flinch. What's wrong with you? To where, you're very insensitive. You're not an emotional person. To now, like, I'll be crying at some stupid movie, right? I'm just like, seriously? Like, I'm starting to tear up, and I'm fighting the tears, and I'm like, no, don't cry, And so now I've even became more emotional myself. But when we were younger, since we alienate them, these poor men that are younger, that are a feminine man, an emotional man, we're the one who push them to the outside. So they have nowhere to go but towards a group of women. Just because we as men are like, oh, they're not manly enough. And as I get older, being emotional is a manly thing, right? It's just what we do. We are emotional. Unfortunately, we are just brainwashed from a young age. You're not supposed to cry. That's horrible. Well, to a certain extent, I can see it. But we've got to let those emotions go every once in a while. Because if not, if we don't let those emotions go, right, that's when you just go berserk and crazy and start fighting people and doing a bunch of crazy things. It's okay. But once again, I think we need to get rid of that guilt of we've been given so much privilege. Like a girl just started working at the restaurant, and she's 19. She goes to an expensive Catholic school. It's like $40,000-$50,000 a year to go to this college. And I was asking her, I was like, that's got to be pretty expensive, right? And she was like, oh yeah, $40,000-$50,000 a year. She's like, yeah, it's just a bunch of preppy white people, rich preppy white people. It's like, well, you're white. You go to this school, so she said her mother works there, so she gets a partial discount. But you go to this school too, you're white. It's like, what the heck? I don't understand. Like, since when did having an opportunity become a bad thing? Now, I understand we need to be able to level the playing field of opportunity. But the downfall is, I've said this before too, is there's nothing wrong with equal opportunity. The biggest problem is wanting an equal outcome, right? Yes, we can let everybody go to college, and that's fine, but you don't get a passing grade just because you showed up, right? There's no such thing as this participation trophy. That's BS. Just because you went to college doesn't mean you're going to get a great job. Just because you decided to pick a degree that is majoring in history doesn't mean you're going to get a great job. Why? Because you spent $100,000 on a degree in history, right? All you can really do is what? Maybe manage a museum or be a history teacher. You're limiting yourself. So once again, it's making smart decisions and taking these opportunities. And if you take these opportunities and you use them, you won't feel guilty. And don't let anybody make you feel guilty because of it. There's nothing wrong with having an opportunity. You only become guilty because you are possibly using this opportunity in a way that you shouldn't be using it. Or you're not even using it at all. So, I don't know. Big ramble there. I'm going to stop there. I know I got off topic, kind of bounced around there. But I hope this gives you something to think about. You should never feel guilty about being an American. I struggle with this as well. I try to be a minimalist, live that minimal lifestyle. I don't at times. I try to find better ways to spend my money. I don't at times, and I feel guilty for these things, But once again, I feel guilty because I understand I'm not using my money in a wise way, right? I want to live that minimalist lifestyle, and I feel guilty because I have a bunch of crap I don't need, right? So it's understanding that you need to make the change. And if you make the change, you won't have that guilt anymore. I think that's the main moral of this video. If you actually use these things, these opportunities, these gifts you've been given in life the correct way, you wouldn't feel guilty. And if you feel guilty, it's because you're not doing that. So once again, I hope this helps. Don't forget to follow on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Once again, there's also health, fitness, spiritual videos on this channel, so scope those out. Check out the podcast, subscribe to this channel, share or like these videos.